on correlation and regression. This knowledge on correlation and regression will.
Sir, one doubt, sir.
Yes, Ganapati, yes.
Bartley-Levy F test are same or different, sir?
Same. You can use it. Almost
different
there are
names
two
only.
different. There are two different methods, but all of them take you to the same destination.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. They are used for calculating variance only.
Very good.
It is like going to your friend's house by cycle or by motorbike.
Okay, sir.
Correct.
Okay. Different types of mode.
Yeah.
Very good. Correct. Good question. So, knowing and learning correlation and regression can help you to generate the solution, because now that you defined the problem, measured the problem, analyzed it, and root causes are very clear, and now you have to take a decision what to do with the root cause. How should I punish the culprit so that he will not repeat it again? That decision you can take well if you actually know the relationship the X variable has got with the Y variable. Whether a relation exists or not, the answer is correlation. What kind of relation exists? The answer is regression. Whether you do correlation or you do regression, scatter analysis is important. Scatter analysis is nothing but a simple QC tool called a scatter diagram. And so if you mix up the scatter analysis and the correlation and regression, you can land up in perfect conclusion. Ultimately, even after scatter, correlation, and regression, I want you to use your common sense also. That is most important, isn't it? Ultimately, sometimes the p-value statistics, everything can mislead us. If you wanted to escape from all these misleading opportunities, in the end, we must apply the common sense also, right? And so that we can never be wrong. All right.
Sir?
So, yes.
Sir, whether a relation exists between X and Y, correlation will tell. What is the relation? That is the regression will tell. What did you mention about the scatter diagram, sir?
Very good, very good. So scatter diagram will throw the initial light. See, some torch bearer is always required, isn't it? Your college has taken the initiative and that's why you are here in the program. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Finding out, that all these things are important and coming out by the time your tenure is lost. But you are lucky enough that, there is someone showing you the light. Same way, scatter diagram is the torchlight. First, it gives, a broader picture of, the relationship. And then you go deeper, go closer and look deeper using correlation and regression. I'll show it in the slides. All right.
Right, sir.
Right. So what is correlation analysis? What is this Pearson correlation coefficient and how to interpret a correlation analysis report? And we'll see a few examples. Correlation is all about quantifying the linear relationship, right? And now I'm showing 3 diagrams. These 3 diagrams are nothing but the scatter diagrams. I can plot scatter diagram when my X variable and Y variable both are continuous variables. Both are of continuous data. X variable is sometimes called as the predictor. Y variable is sometimes called the response. Right? For example, the amount of calories I am consuming and the amount of weight I am gaining. Is there a relation? There could be a relation. When I eat more, my weight may be more. When I eat less, my weight may be less. Isn't it? Now I am studying between the calories and the weight. Now, which is predictor, which is response? Weight is a predictor or calories is a predictor? What is the response here?
Weight is the response.
Weight is the response. And the weight gain or weight loss depends on the calorie consumption. So I must plot the graph in such a way that x-axis, weight is taken on the y-axis. And now for every fixed quantity of calories over a period of time, the weight gain is observed or X and Y values are observed and I am plotting it. And look at the graph here. The graph is looking like how the stars look in the sky in the night time. Same way it is looking like. The diagram is now a perfect scatter diagram. Now tell me, under such situation, do you think a relationship exists between X and Y?
No relationship.
No, sir.
Very good, beautiful. You got it. So scatter diagram has given the initial clue. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Relation exists. You also call it no correlation. Now, look at this diagram. All the points are lying in a perfect straight line. Do you think there is a pattern between X and Y? And the pattern is straight line?
X and Y are same,
Linear.
sir.
That means your Y is controlled by X. That is why, all points are not allowed to move away. All the points are falling in line as per the instructions of your X. It is like, students standing in the line in the presence of the PT master. No PT master, students are scattered. But now there is a PT master, students are standing in perfect straight line. Students are controlled by the PT master. Here your Y variable is controlled by the X variable. That means a relationship is said to exist here. Which is giving me the clue? Scatter diagram. And the relationship is positive. Why do I call it positive? As
It's
it
going
increases.
upside, sir.
Yes, as X increases,
Y is also increasing.
beautiful. Y also increases. So the relationship is positive. I call it positive correlation. And I also would like to call this relation as strong correlation. You know why? Students are perfect straight line. They are obeying fully. Y depends fully on the X. That is why you are getting it on the perfect line. Strong. Can I also use the word strong? Yes or no? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. The second one is a case of
Yes.
negative correlation. Why the positive changes to negative? As X increases, Y decreases. And now so far visually we talked about scatter and correlation. And let us quantify, because numbers always important. We can't sometimes we may go wrong with some unstructured way of analysis. We need some quantified information. So I use a coefficient called Pearson correlation coefficient. The formula to calculate the Pearson correlation coefficient is given here. All that required is I need a set of data, X and Y. The number of data is the N here. Number of data is the N here. X bar means average of the X variable. Y bar means average of the Y variable. Sx means standard deviation of the X data. Sy means standard deviation of the Y data. Xi is the individual X values. Yi is the individual Y values. Use it, you will get R. This formula is designed in such a way to understand the linearity in the graph. How it is designed? It is designed in such a way that the linearity in the graph is understood. How is the linearity here? Very strong. How is the linearity here? Very strong but negative. How is the linearity here?
No linearity.
Or no linearity. When no linearity, R will become 0. When there is strong linearity, perfect linearity, we call it, or the formula is designed to give you a value of 1. Plus 1 will come here, minus 1 will come here. So that means the Pearson correlation coefficient is going to vary from plus 1 and minus 1. On one side it is 0 to plus 1, other side it is 0 to minus 1. This side is positive correlation, this side is negative correlation. Both sides, 0 to 0.4 is considered weak correlation. 0.4 to 0.7 is considered moderate correlation. 0.7 to 1 is considered strong correlation. More than 0.9 is very strong correlation. Equal to 1 is called the perfect correlation. The same thing applicable on the other side also. And now I'm showing you a scatter diagram. Scatter diagram between calories consumed by a person over a period. He consumes 1,500 calories per week, 2,000 calories next week, something like that. And his weight gain or weight loss is recorded. And the blue color dots are the weight gain values. Looking at the blue color dot, tell me, is there a relation found to exist between X and Y?
Positive.
Yes, relation is found to exist and it is found to be positive. You can see, the points continuously moving upward. Some pattern is there and approximately the pattern is a straight line. That approximate pattern, the approximated straight line is visualized. This red color line is called regression line. This regression line is nothing but the mathematical model of the relationship between X and Y variable. And this we will talk in the regression. All of you understand?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, what kind of relationship it is, correlation it is? Is it strong correlation?
Strong positive
Or-
correlation.
Wow, beautiful. Now you are able to talk much better. Strong, positive correlation, right? That means, the relationship is linear, relationship is strong, and relationship is positive. So much information you are able to understand just with using a data. And how to interpret? Always, when you are examining the correlation result, scatter plot is important. Scatter plot is one of the basic 7 quality control tool. If the company is not using this basic QC tool, quality is a big question mark in such places, right? And number 2, significance of the correlation or significance of any statistical study should be confirmed with the p-value. What is our expectation? P-value should be less than 5.
-5. Less than 5.
Minus less than 0.05. And never conclude the relationship is cause and effect based on the correlation alone. Already I told you. Finally, when the climax comes, common sense should be applied. When the climax comes, common sense should be applied. We watch a movie. Rajini can fight and then can beat 100 people. Can you do it in real life? Not possible, right? Common sense is very, very important. Even though everything you studied, you have seen, still do not hesitate or do not fail to apply your common sense. Everything is giving information. Common sense confirms the information. Then only your decision can be best. Don't go common sense, right? And that is also important. Pearson correlation coefficient is very, very sensitive to outliers. You know what is outlier? If a particular value is far away from the average value, if any particular individual data is far away from the average value, you must exclude such outliers from the analysis. For example, we conduct the exam. After the Greenbelt training program, we are going to conduct the exam. Everybody is scoring around 70 marks. 2 students are getting mark in 1 digit. Does it mean the training is highly ineffective? Come on. Come on, please. I need a response. Everybody is scored around 70. Average is 70. But 3 students, they got marks in single digit. Does it mean the program is an ineffective?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No, sir.
It is no. Isn't it? Why then? Why they?
Yes, sir. No.
Then why they have scored very less mark? They have not attended the session, right? Right now there are only 50 people in the meeting. 84 are not here. Anything can happen, isn't it? If you
Yes, sir.
consider including the outliers in your analysis, it is very likely that you will go wrong. Am I right? Never include an outlier in your analysis, but you must take an action against outliers. Am I correct or not? We must investigate why 84 people have not joined. What has prevented them from joining? The process is there. They are not aligning with the process. Outliers are definitely due to special causes. Special causes must be understood by thorough investigation. Special causes must be fixed. Next program, you will see all 134 attending every single minute of the program. Am I correct? Special causes should be investigated, should be fixed. But for making the conclusions, the outlier should not be included. Do you understand both the points?
Yes, sir.
That means you separate them out and deal with them separately.
Very good. When you collect the data in your research, all the data is telling something and few data only telling some completely different picture. First of all, you must analyze why this 2 data alone is giving a different picture. Because there is certain problem is there. You must fix the problem. Maybe that particular time the experiment, the experimental setup setting has changed. There were some error. The person collected the data with error. So the data is far away from the average. Don't include such data to impact your findings. Outlier should not be included, right? But reason for outlier must be investigated. When everything goes well, your data will not have any outlier. What is our understanding? 99.73% of the data are expected to be within the control limit. An outlier will be a data outside the control limit. Do you understand how the normal distribution is helping us? The definition of the outlier is the point is outside the control limit. Right? Now, first diagram.
Yes, sir.
Look at the diagram and tell me what kind of correlation it is. It is positive, negative, strong, weak, or moderate.
Strong positive correlated, sir.
Positive correlation.
Beautiful, right? And that is confirmed with the Pearson correlation coefficient of 0.917. Now the second one, what is this?
Strong
Strong
negative
negative correlation.
Strong negative, beautiful. And now this one,
Scattered.
strong, moderate, or weak.
No.
No
Now
correlation.
there is a confusion. Look at the p-value. P-value is 0.255. Sorry, not p-value. Correlation. Pearson correlation
Okay.
is 0.255. What is it now?
Weak positive. Weak
Beautiful.
positive.
It is weak positive. So this is weak negative.
Weak negative.
And now what is this?
Scattered.
That
No
means
correlation.
No
No correlation.
correlation.
Very good. No, no correlation. Now what is this? This one.
Parabola correlation.
No correlation.
The first case is no correlation or equal to 0, no correlation and no relation. But second one, R value is 0, no correlation, but you can't say no relation. What is the relation you are seeing? Parabolic.
Parabola.
That is why, all analysis, your scatter diagram is the torch bearer. Isn't it? If you don't have a scatter diagram, simply look at the R value 0, you may end up concluding that there is no relation. But what is the reality? That is parabolic.
There is a relation.
All of you
or no
understand,
correlation.
even when your R is 0, still there can be a relation. But how did I come to know? By seeing?
Parabolic.
No, by seeing
Relation.
what is this tool called? What is the diagram called?
Parabola.
Scatter diagram.
Scatter diagram.
Scatter diagram. Okay.
Very good. We'll do a small problem now. A company manufacturing aluminum castings. All of you know casting, right? They melt the metal, pour it in the die, and then take it out and they sell it. That's the casting. In the casting, one big problem is, casting defect. And one of the casting defect is porosity. Porosity means there will be some, some air gaps inside the casting. You can see the air gaps only when you do the machining. Such things were happening. So a lot of rejections, a lot of failure, a lot of customer complaint. And they did the brainstorming, they did the expert opinion, they used cause and effect analysis, everything they have done. But still the problem is continuing. So they wanted to figure out and rule out the problem sources.
Sharma, close video.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Sharma, please close your video.
Shama. Priya madam, you can
Who
also.
is the Priyam Sharma?
I think Priya madam, you will be able to do it. Ritam Sharma, are you listening here? I think your video is disturbing.
Not there. Sharma, you can close. See, your activities are visible there on the video.
Okay.
Pritam Sharma, yeah, good.
Right. Good. So the porosity is believed to be based on the hydrogen content. Since the hydrogen content in your molten metal has increased, porosity problem is increasing. How this input came, useful, valid input? Through brainstorming, one of the expert told. And it is, it came out in the Y-Y analysis. It came out in the fishbone diagram. And the people were given a heavy weightage for this. So this factor has been considered for validation in hypothesis testing. Hypothesis testing is doing some experimentation. See here, hydrogen content is gradually increased in your molten metal, 0.18 to 0.28. And the porosity impact is also quantified. That is also varying. X is varied, Y is also varying. And now I want to understand whether there is a relationship or not. So I plot a scatter diagram. Now looking at the scatter diagram. Tell me, is there a relationship? Is there a relationship? Or is there a correlation? Is it strong or weak or medium? Come on, guys. What kind of relationship do you?
Moderate.
Yeah,
Weak.
moderate. Very good. If you are finding it difficult to figure out whether it is strong or medium, look at the R value. How much is the R value? 0.6.
0.625.
So it is a clear evidence now. Oh, the relationship is moderate, and that is confirmed with the p value. You can trust your data. P value is less than 0.05, and then I want you to calculate something called R square. This R square is now called coefficient of determination. What is it called? Coefficient of determination. How is it helpful? It will tell me the amount of influence. It will tell me the amount of influence the hydrogen content has got on the porosity. Right? So let me calculate it. R square is R into R. 0.625 into 0.625. How much you are getting? 0.39. What does it mean? 39% of the changes you observed in the porosity are because of the changes you have made in the hydrogen content. All of you understand what I'm talking now? You are able to understand my English? 39% of the changes you have observed in the porosity are due to the changes you have made in the hydrogen content. You only made the changes, isn't it? As you keep on changing the hydrogen content, porosity is also keep on changing. So what is the influence the hydrogen content has got on the porosity? What is the influence? 39%.
39.
That means if you optimize this hydrogen content, 39% of your problem is solved. 39% of your problem can be solved by optimizing the hydrogen content. It also means your model or the analysis is not sufficient enough to solve the problem to a major extent, because only 39% of the problem you are able to impact. When you actually optimize your hydrogen content also, you may not get all 39% result. Again, there may be some droppage. So that means you have to consider including additional factors. How many of you understand this point?
Yes, sir. Understood, sir.
Yes, RK sir, you can add.
Yeah. What does it mean to you as a student? Can anyone tell me? What does it mean to you as a student or taking up a project or doing a PhD?
Come on, students, make a try. Whatever question they are asking you, immediately give an answer.
Try to give an answer.
Yeah, give something. You will win.
What do you think? Okay, you are given a coffee and you find that sugar is less and you like more sugar coffee. Then what is it that you think you have something to do?
You
You have
add
to tell your
sugar.
wife or
Increasing the
mother.
sugar.
We add in sugar.
Add some quantity of sugar, sir.
No. What is that immediately comes to you? You don't have anything. You don't know how to add sugar also. You just know how to eat, how to drink, and then taste. All right? She is given you a coffee and it is not tasty and you want the sugar to be added. What will you do? You will tell her that, Baba, you have to add sugar so that it will be tasty for me. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or
Yes,
no?
sir.
Right?
Yes,
In the
sir.
same way, here you have covered only 39%. 61%, what is the reason? You have to find out, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That means you have a project on hand now. You have got a project on hand. You have to do an investigation to find out the solution. What is the factor which will make that 69, the balance 61% also, we will give the reason. So I have to find out that factor and then change it so that I know how to accommodate that 61% also. Clear?
Yes, sir.
That, because you know that there is a change. You have found out the reason only for 39%. What is that reason? That is what is given here, right? Porosity. And then 61% could be due to some other factors. That factors, if you find, you are completely covered the project, right? That is what the PhD students and then the UMBA students should do, right? Have I attacked the problem completely? Thank you.
All right, thank you. So now what do you understand here is this factor has got an impact, but the impact, there is a limitation. It can influence only by an amount of 39%. The remaining 61% influence comes from some other factor, which you have still not found. Your analysis is not yet over. You understand, your analysis is not yet over. You have to further investigate, include additional factors, and then validate those additional factors, come out with a better mathematical model. Nothing but your y equal to f of x.
Sir, 1 second, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I disturb?
Yeah.
Please note, I'm going to ask you a question, jargon question, like what you will get in the examinations, your MBA examinations. Is the validation of the factor completed? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Porosity validation. Huh?
No, sir. We want to find 61%.
No. Because listen to my question. Validation of the factor.
Sir, this
Validation of the factor. Okay. I will ask you another question. Then you give the answer.
This factor is
also.
validated.
Is the sufficiency of the factor completed? Are there only this factor, or are there more factors we have to consider?
There are more factors.
Yeah, we have to. That means sufficiency is not covered, completed. Validation is completed. Right? We know 31%
Yes,
is
correct.
covered by this. Right?
Particular
It is a
crime
valid
is
factor.
done
Validation
by,
is completed. Okay.
yeah.
Thank you, sir.
This particular crime is done by a group of criminals. Only one criminal you have found. The remaining two are yet to find, right? So that is what it says. You must get an R square at least more than 80%. If it is close to 100%, then you are in a really commanding position.
Sufficiency of factor. Sufficiency of
You are
factor.
sufficient, right? You can generate the solution. Now, one more example. This is calorie consumption, weight gain. And study is conducted on a individual, maybe Mr. X. He has been asked to consume calories 1,500 for a week. Weight gain is observed. No weight gain. He was just maintaining. Another 1 week, 2,300. Something like that. It goes on. Readings are applying. Now we want to understand whether calorie consumption is a predictor of weight gain or not, or we want to understand whether calorie consumption is responsible for the weight gain or not. So I just plot with the data available. Now tell me what kind of relationship you observe. Is it
Positively strong correlation.
very good, strong positive correlation? That is confirmed by the R value of 0.97. That is again confirmed with a very low p-value. Minitab gives a p-value of 0. Please note, p-value can never be 0. It will be only close to 0. But due to the resolution issue, it is giving 0. Right. And now 0.97, it's almost perfect linearity. The points are very close to the straight line. Now, in order to understand the influence calories has got on the weight gain, you need to square it, R square. R square means 0.97 into 0.97. That means 0.94. 0.94 means 94% of the weight gain in that individual is because of the calorie consumption. If you want that person to gain more weight, advise him to consume more calories. If you want the person to lose weight, advise him to consume less calories. This advice, as a dietitian, as a nutrition expert, if you give it, it will work well. Within 2 months, the person will be able to gain the weight and lose the weight and achieve the desired result. Please note, statistics make sense only with the common sense. Whatever we have found, this result is applicable only to that individual. Am I right? Can you and me use the result?
No, sir.
You should not use, because the sample can only represent the population. All the sample has been taken from Mr. X, and so findings are applicable only to Mr. X. And in this particular person, that particular individual is very disciplined, and his body behaves purely based on the consumption of calories. He doesn't have any other, chronic issues, doesn't have any other complication. The body behaves based on the food he consumes. Single predictor, but it is a strong predictor and it is sufficient also to solve the problem. All of you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, one question, sir.
Factor is validated, sufficiency also ensured, and everything is confirmed. We have mixed up the common sense also. Now, go ahead with your question.
Sir, like we saw the previous example in which the sufficiency was not enough.
Correct.
Now, this is a stage of a correlation where we are actually near solving the problem of this
Yes.
project.
Very good.
Say one of the project we are dealing with. So I'm just assuming that we, since we are kind of educating each other, but will it be correct to say that at this stage insufficiency should not come when you are doing actual project?
See,
Am I
you
correct?
know the gap in performance, right?
Yes, sir.
In measure phase, you got the baseline performance, and in define phase, you set the target. Target
Yes.
and baseline helps you understand the gap in performance.
Correct, sir.
To fill up the gap, you have to optimize certain factor. Now, when I optimize this factor, it can solve only 39% of the problem. You get my point? But my desired result, is the gap. And so definitely it gives some clue about whether you will be able to jump the entire gap or not. But if you really want a deeper understanding on how much benefit the factor is going to give, you need to proceed and understand this red color line. You know what is this red color line?
A regression, sir.
Regression line. So that also you need to understand. But this is again definitely a signal that 94% is it ensures the sufficiency also. It ensures the sufficiency because the same R square will participate in your regression also. We will teach you tomorrow morning, right? So what is that? Correlation analysis helps us to predict the relationship. If it is linear, it will indicate us with a higher R value, right? Correlation coefficient generally ranges between -1 and +1. The Pearson correlation coefficient is very sensitive to outlier. It is very important you remove the outlier before proceeding with the correlation analysis, right? But you can't just like that remove and then proceed. You should also investigate why outlier formed. Then only no problem will get solved in real time. Otherwise, outliers will always be there, and then you will do analysis. Will not make any sense. If your data follows normality, there won't be any outlier. First, that is called stabilization of the process. If the process is stabilized, it can be improved. If your points are out of control, there is no stability. In the case of stability issue, don't try to improve any process. First, achieve the stability and then target the improvement. So, significance of correlation must be confirmed with the p-value. P is not strong correlation, cannot always imply a cause and effect. What is
Sir, P value or R value? Sir, R value, sir.
R value is the Pearson correlation coefficient. P value is the significance, right? And even after the P value, sometimes you may go wrong. See, even after the P value, sometimes you may go wrong if you fail to use the common sense, right?
So P is R squared, sir, basically here.
No. P is not R squared. P is different. R square is different. These are two different concepts. R talks about the Pearson
Let me come, sir.
linear relationship.
We did not talk about this, sir. P value and
Once again.
Yes, come on. Explain your question, Magajan. What is your question? Full question.
sir, we did not talk about P value in correlation, sir. But you mentioned it in the last.
No, see, P value has been generated. This is all that I have shown our Minitab report. All that I have shown our
Understood.
Minitab report, and
Understood.
Minitab has given the P value. I will compare the P value with the level of significance in my study. What is my level of significance? 0.0.
Okay.
Did you notice in all the P
Got
value
it.
it was less than 0.05? It was less than 0.05,
Yes.
right? Since it is less than 0.05, the study is significant.
Yes.
I can trust the findings from the data. Just RK sir, you can add.
See, note, there are two steps. One is just a decision, and next thing is investigation. In the hypothesis testing, you only take a decision. significant or not significant. That's all. So from p-value, you only say that the strong relation is significant or not significant. Sometimes you may get 0.9, but still it may not be significant, right? Because merely getting a correlation coefficient of 0.9 and with p-value more than 0.05 does not mean that there is a strong relation. Understand? Therefore, you just only take a decision. It is significant or not significant from p-value, nothing else, right? Pass or fail, that's all. Now, if you pass, are you passing it with distinction? That is called how significant it is. That is determined by R square value. Clear? How significant it is, 39% only covered, right? Not 95%. If 95% is covered, completely covered. I'm very happy. Sufficiently covered all the problems. Understood?
If I just take 2 of the students and say that, the training has produced, magic results, 2 students. But 2 students, their performance improved. But now when I conclude, just by seeing 2 students conclude that, the training is, very impactful, I can be wrong. Isn't it? There is a relation as far as the sample is concerned. But when I consider the population, there is no relation. Same thing is not reflecting in the population. Am I right? Whatever you see in the sample, you should be able to see in the population also. Am I correct or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we want our findings to be applicable to the population, not only to the sample. For that, lower p-value gives the assurance. Got it?
You do a project by adding salt is going to improve the taste. But when you do a hypothesis testing, it is no significant, you say, then will your project be accepted? No, because first case, the effect of salt is not at all there. You are proved by hypothesis test. Then how can you do a project saying that the effect of salt and then give a report? Understand? Therefore, hypothesis test is very important before taking up any project. First to find out whether it is significant or not. Only if it is significant, you go ahead with the project.
All right, students, we have crossed the timelines and now it is 2:40.
Oh.
Anything you would like to specifically ask, 1 or 2 minutes? Or is there anyone would like to say anything about today's learning? Did you find it more valuable today? Is that things are really becoming easier and easier or becoming tougher and tougher? Anything you would like to add now? It's an opportunity for you to speak. You don't want to speak?
Today's session is very easy, sir. Both of them, sir. RK sir and Gopal sir, it's very easy.
So your null hypothesis become valid now. Very good. Both are.
This is accepted, sir, today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not rejected the null. Very good. See you guys. And tomorrow it's going to be definitely a lot more content, mind-blowing learnings. Tomorrow is a beautiful tools you will be learning our control chart. Right? Why outliers are right? And then FMEA. And then how to create a control plan so that we can prevent all these failures in the future. We learned a lot of lesson. How can we teach others? We learned a lot of lesson in the project. How can we teach others so that they can also continue enjoying the benefits, right? So that is called a control plan. So we'll be learning it. So all the best. See you tomorrow.
Correlation பொறுத்தவரையில நம்ம அவுட்லையர் எடுத்துக்கூடாது. ஆனா அதை வந்து நம்ம வேற எதுக்கு கணக்குல எடுத்துக்கணும்ல. Correlation பொறுத்தவரையில எடுக்க தேவையில்ல.
எந்த டேட்டா கலெக்ட் பண்ணாலும் அந்த டேட்டாக்குள்ள அவுட்லயர் இருக்கக்கூடாது.
ஓகே சார்.
இருக்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு டேட்டா எடுக்கிறீங்கன்னா அந்த இடத்துல ப்ராசஸ்லயே பிரச்சனை இருக்குன்னு பிரச்சனையா இருக்கிற ப்ராசஸை இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்றதை விட பிரச்சனையா இருக்கிற ப்ராசஸை முதல்ல சரி பண்ணணும். சரி பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம் தான் இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணணும். படிக்கணும்னு என்ன இருந்தாதான் சொல்லி தர முடியும். கரெக்டா?
எஸ் சார்.
40 பேர் தான் இருக்கிறீங்க, மீதி 90 பேர் இல்லாதவனை பத்தி நான் ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது. அந்த மைண்ட் செட்டே சரியில்லை, அங்க இன்டென்ஷனே இல்லைன்றதுதான் அவுட்லயர்ல தெரியுது. அவுட்லயர் நிறைய வந்துட்டு இருக்குன்னா அந்த ப்ராசஸே ஸ்ட்ரகிளிங்ல இருக்குன்னு அர்த்தம். ஸ்ட்ரகிளிங்ல இருக்கிற ப்ராசஸை போய் இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. ஸ்ட்ரகிளிங்ல இருக்கிற ப்ராசஸை ஸ்டெபிலைஸ் பண்ணணும். புரியுதுங்களா? இப்ப நம்ம உதாரணத்துக்கு அந்த மீதி 90 பேரை நம்ம நாளைக்கு எல்லாத்தையும் ஒரு கிளாஸ்ல போட்டு அடைச்சு கிளாஸ் எடுக்க கூடாது. அட்வைஸ் தான் சொல்லலாம். தம்பி, கிளாஸ் நடக்கும்போது முதல்ல கிளாஸுக்குள்ள வாங்க, உள்ள வந்தாதான் படிக்கவே முடியும் இல்லையா? உள்ள வர வைக்கிறதான்னு பாக்கணுமே ஒழிய அவனுக்கு போய் நம்ம பாடம் நடத்துறோம்னா அவன் வரவே மாட்டான். Am I correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So ப்ராசஸ்ல அவுட்லயர் இருந்தா அவுட்லயர் வராம பாத்துக்கணும் முதல்ல. அவுட்லயர் வரலன்னா ப்ராசஸ் கிரேட்டா போகுதுன்னு அர்த்தம் கிடையாது, நார்மலா போகுதுன்னு அர்த்தம். நார்மலா போறத சூப்பரா போக வைக்கிறது தான் ப்ராஜெக்ட்.
Okay, sir.
இருக்கிறதுன்றதுல என்ன அர்த்தம்னா அப்நார்மலா இருக்கு, அப்நார்மலா இருக்கிறத நார்மல் ஆக்கணும்,
Okay, sir.
ஆக்கிறத சூப்பர் ஆக்கணும், நார்மல் ஆக்கிறத சூப்பர் ஆக்குறது தான் இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட்.
Okay.
You can ask a question. அந்த 90 பேருக்கு என்ன சார் பண்றீங்க, அவங்க தான் இது இல்லைங்களா, அவங்களையும் நாங்க we are not going to leave it. What we are going to do
என்னோட
is,
ஒப்பீனியன்ல
we take affection for them, give a test. We have put a test, link test கொடுத்திருக்கோம், அதுல 100 கொஸ்டின் இருக்கும், அத படிச்சானாக்க பாஸ் பண்ணானாக்க they will also come up, right? We
Yes,
are not
sir.
neglecting anybody.
ஆமா, நார்மலைசிங் can also be considered a project but not an improvement. Normalizing can also be considered as a project, but ஒரு நார்மல் அவுட்புட் கிரேட் அவுட்புட்டா மாத்துறது என்னது, இட்ஸ் a project, improvement.
Okay, sir.
First step is stabilizing, next step is improvement. Want to construct a beautiful house, first step is foundation.
Yes, sir.
Foundation is good, now construct the building. Keeping the foundation weak, constructing the building will lead
Will be a disaster.
will
disaster.
be a disaster, right? Quality can be excellence, quality can be a disaster. Now you understood the reason. Beautiful.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Can we
Bye.
finish the session, sir?
Yeah,
Can we
yeah.
take the
Thank you
session?
all.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
the
thank you.
session, sir.